Those of us who have been sewing for a long time often need a little ounce of inspiration to remotivate us. Finding a new idea or a twist on a technique keeps me very excited about sewing. It helps us to sew with fresh eyes and a new perspective. Today's topics and projects give serging, sewing, and embroidery a new twist. Our mission today is bringing you joy and inspiration. My guest and I are ready to do just that. Let's get started. Welcome to my sewing room. I do not know of too many things that I think are more beautiful than a white baby day gown. This one is so pretty. I want you to look at the beautiful little neckline that has the tatting and the entredeaux and a sweet little silk satin ribbon and beautiful piping. Now this is a round yoke and it's traditionally called a bishop style. I think some of you are probably saying, well look, Martha has a pretty little smocked bishop day gown, and you know what? This smocking was done on the serger. The three little rows, and there is a magic to it. I'm going to share with you how. Come on down and look at the bottom of this day gown. It is absolutely precious with a row of tatting, sort of a wide tatting all the way around the bottom. We'll turn it around so you can see how pretty this little day gown is on the back with the three rows of serger smocking. Quick and easy, I might add. For this serger smocking technique, we're going to use the cover stitch, which if you have knit clothes in your closet from the store, most of them are hemmed this way using a cover stitch. Now I'm going to use the cover stitch not to hem, but actually just to go down on rows of a fabric. And by the way, this has had beautiful decorative stitching, pink and blue and green and whatever colors loaded in the looper. I'm going to use the ruffling foot and the differential feed, and I'm going to run the flat piece of fabric through and look at this beautiful gathered fabric with the decorative stitching. For several rows, I'm going to go one presser foot apart, one row, one presser foot away, so forth down the piece of fabric, and I want you to look at those perfect pleats that form as I move down doing row after row. It really looks like it was smocked using or pleated using the smocking machine. For the bishop style or the rounded style, we're going to have to be able to pull the fabric out to make it go around the curve. So we're going to adjust the differential feed as we go out on each row so we can pull it around to take it around the bishop or the curved yoke. I'm so pleased to have as my guest today my very dear friend Margaret Tully. Margaret is an education consultant for Baby Like USA. Margaret, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And I love your beautiful baby day gown you made.
It's easy and it's quick.
We like quick and easy.
That's right.
Your little bonnet that goes with it. Oh, how sweet.
Woo. The bonnet features the serger pleating and the serger smocking across the top. I wanted to show you the crown of the bonnet. Do you see how we use the adjusting of the differential feed to form the little crown back here? And I love the way that the serger pleating allows those pleats to radiate out from center.
Looks just like it was pleated on a smocking machine. That is so. Now, how long did that take to make?
Oh, about 30 minutes.
Well, you can make your whole baby gifts in one afternoon for
That's
your
right.
showers for the whole year, can't you?
And then you're the showstopper at the shower.
You know, it really is, Margaret. It's beautiful.
This cover stitch that we're going to use, like Martha said, the cover stitch is what the industry uses to hem so much of our knitwear. And I wanted just to show you how stretchy it is. This is why the industry likes it so much. This is the stretchiest stitch that any home sewing machine will make. And here's again the cover stitch with decorative thread in the chain looper. And the industry gives us so many beautiful decorative threads.
Oh, we love them.
Perfect for the serger. So we can just have these beautiful rows of decorative stitching. Now then, same fabric, same stitch, same thread, but we use the ruffling foot and we use the differential feed.
Oh, got a little magic there, didn't you?
at the serger, when we attach the ruffling foot, there is a top slot to the ruffling foot, but we're not going to put anything in there. The fabric all goes on the bottom of the foot. We've engaged the differential feed.
Just like magic, Margaret.
There's your first row of pleating and smocking. For the subsequent rows, you simply line up the stitch with the edge of the presser foot.
And there's your Serger smocking right there.
And you see how those beautiful little pleats line up? And here is your geometric smocking stitch. This is how we get several
now, Margaret,
rows.
if I'm going to make a yoke dress, I'm not going to adjust the differential feed.
No.
I'm just going to use it just like that.
This would be perfect for a basic yoke.
Because that will be straight.
Exactly.
Right. It's the curve where we have to adjust the differential feed.
That's right.
Okay.
So on this curve, differential feed was the tightest at the top row near the neck edge. Then we just reduce differential feed setting as we go away from the neck edge.
Okay.
And it allows us to have a beautiful curve in the smocking. Now this little sample just shows a plain piece of fabric from the needle side that you can then take to the sewing machine or the embroidery machine and put in some character decorative stitches or some embroidery stitches.
Margaret, I just love this Serger smocking.
Isn't it
and
wonderful?
The Serger smocking in the bishop as well as the straight Serger smocking.
Good.
Margaret, this was fascinating. And now Margaret has some sewing inspirations to share with you. Margaret, you know, people are always asking you and me as sewing teachers, what is quick and easy? And it looks to me like you have solved the problems right here.
Oh, this is an adorable little gift.
This is so cute.
There's a pen holder in the top, 2 pockets on the inside for your note cards and envelopes.
What a nice gift, and you can tie a little bow. This is really one of those quick and easy gifts.
Yes,
and
it is.
Oh, this is so pretty.
This is a journal cover. It features Serger flat locking and the wave stitch on the outside.
What a lovely Christmas gift.
Journaling is very popular now.
You know what, it always has
been.
As a former English teacher, I can tell you I did journaling with my students every week. Journaling is wonderful. Margaret, that is so pretty. And you've done that was the wave stitch around the edge.
That's right.
So Serger, quick and easy, right?
All Serger.
Love it, love it. Wonderful pillow.
This is a little travel-size pillowcase. We have teenage granddaughters. I know you think I'm not old enough to have teenage granddaughters, but we do.
I do too, Margaret.
And they gave up frou-frou a while ago.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so the mixing of the denim and the little Serger smocking and pleating and maybe just a little tailored ruffle. They'll like that
a pleated
better.
ruffle, yeah, there we go. And then this is a wonderful pillow to be used in any kind of, a number of different fabrics.
Well, exactly. And this is, these are Serger button closures.
Oh, I love, Margaret, that's really pretty. It looks like you've been to the high-priced, expensive store to have a designer technique like that.
I just went to my Serger. Okay, and some embroidery.
Serger, and some beautiful embroidery.
And some embroidery, yes.
Now, you know, Margaret, what we've been doing, that beautiful little Serger technique, the Serger smocking. I love this bonnet. Here it's done in blue with the pretty decorative thread. This is that 30-minute bonnet, right?
That's right.
And so you can see a little more carefully. This is the Serger that's done in the round, or the bishop as we call it. That sweet, sweet little bonnet. And I love the fact that you told me how long it took you to make this adorable little sundress. Would you please tell our viewers how long it took you?
About a half an hour.
About half an hour to make it. And this is a little purchase trim,
It's
I think
a purchase
you said.
trim, and it matches pretty well with the decorative thread.
A sweet little
got from the industry.
Oh, a sweet little sundress, and you've got your, and the hem really is the cover stitch for a hem.
It's the same stitch, but without the differential feed and the ruffling
30-minute sundress.
Exactly.
Or pinafore. This could be used over a dress.
Yes.
Margaret,
yes,
these are just adorable. 30-minute bonnet, 30-minute sundress, an hour, and you have your precious shower gift. For a little girl, I might add.
Exactly. And I know I smocked a lot of little play clothes from our granddaughters.
This is easier.
And, yeah, this is easier and quicker, and I wouldn't care if this came back from the playground a little dirtier.
And now Margaret has a So Quick, So Easy project to share with you. Margaret, those are the cutest little purses. Tell us about them.
Oh, this little project, this little gift is so cute and it's so quick. It's a little credit card or business card case. And you can make these up in just a snap. I'm going to be making them on the serger today with just a little overlock stitch. And it's quick and easy.
And that's our favorite word, is quick and easy.
It's going to take 4 pieces of fabric.
Okay.
You're going to have your fashion fabric that's 5 by 6, and then 3 pieces of fabric that are 5 by 5. One of those pieces of fabric will be the lining fabric. And here's how that works. We'll take the fashion fabric, and then 2 of these 5 by 5 pieces will become pockets. And we'll fold that pocket fabric in half, right sides out. The 5-inch double edge here will match the 5-inch edge on the fashion fabric. And we will attach those pockets to both ends of the fashion fabric. Can you see here?
Serged it away.
That we have these 2 pockets to the right side.
I can do that.
Okay. Now then, this 3rd piece of fabric that's 5 by 5 is the lining fabric. It will go right sides together with the pockets and the fashion fabric. This is 5 inches long, so it won't match all the way to the serged edges, so we'll just eyeball that and center it. But the edges will match over here.
Okay.
So we'll just serge now right down these sides. So we'll go over here to the serger. I'm set up for an overlock stitch.
Okay.
And we're serging through all layers.
Okay. Quick and easy. Both sides. Margaret, this is really a fast project.
This really is.
I mean, you're almost done.
So now, that's all of the serging. That's all of the sewing.
Okay.
The first step, let's get over here to one that's a little bit neater.
Okay.
The first step will be to turn this fabric, the lining fabric, to its right side.
Okay.
And then one at a time, turn the pockets to the lining fabric, and that's it. Is that fun?
You mean that's it. It really is it.
And now that you have seen how quick and easy this is to make, you know that just by changing the sizes and shapes of the fabric, we could make a checkbook cover or whatever. A book cover, Bible cover, exactly.
Well, Margaret, that is so easy.
Well, let me show you this now. If we put box bottoms on one pocket, we now have a binky bag or a little bag to put our contact lens case in.
Well, Margaret, you talk about quick and easy. I think that may be the quickest, easiest, cute little project I've ever seen.
Oh, good.
Margaret, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And next I have some hand embroidery to share with you. I'm so pleased to have as my guest today my very dear friend Beverley Sheldrick from New Zealand. Beverley is an internationally recognized author and teacher. Beverley, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Martha, it's always wonderful to be here with you, and thank you for inviting me. Now, Martha, today, for our viewers, I'm going to do another rosebud. And this one is just a little bit different. While I'm showing it here in 4mm ribbon, it works very well in 7mm as well. Sometimes if you're doing a large piece, you want a really large rosebud. But I've used it in 4 here on one of these side panels of this beautiful gown that we've done for your very special birthday.
My very own christening
Your
dress.
very own christening gown. But so you can see it is here. You'll notice that it doesn't have a point on the top in the way that they normally do. So you can see here we've just got this thread that comes up, and instead of going over at the top as we would normally to give it a point, we catch it at the side. Then you will see that we've got first of all a little green stitch here, and that not only makes it attractive, but it does have a purpose in that it does hold this in one place where we want it to be. Sometimes it can just creep in to one side. So you can see there we've got that stitch there which is holding that, and then I've got a fly stitch around it, and from there you will see that I've got just these little tiny fly stitch tendrils. You know, so often, I know in real roses we don't have them so much, but so often when you see drawn roses, you see those little furry bits that sort of come out to one side.
That's right.
And this is what we're trying to replicate when we do these little fly stitches here. So here we are. You can see that I've put my needle through there like that. I'm just going to bring the ribbon round there like that, and then pull it through, pull it fairly firm, and then instead of going like that, as I said, I'm going to come to one side, and I'm actually going to just catch the edge of the silk ribbon there before I take it through like that. Now you can see here I've got a needle threaded with this floche, and I'm just popping that in there, just holding that side there firmly like that, and then we're going to come here, and you can see how I'm now ready to just put that fly stitch here like so, and that's just coming along nicely like that. We don't normally have a long stem with this one, so I'm just going to make it a true fly stitch. If I wanted to have a much longer stem on it, then of course I would start doing either outline or stem stitch, and I would start it from this point there and continue it on to the length that I want. But as I say, when I use these, I don't normally use a long stem for them, so I don't need them. And then I've got my needle over here, and you can see, depending on how big the rosebud is and how much I feel I need, will depend on whether I do 3 or 4 of these. Sometimes I'll do a whole lot of them. Sometimes I'll do just a few of them. But you can see how it's just that stitch like that. Now I've actually used quite a strong green for this here to make it easier for the viewers to see. But so often if I'm doing this, these little fly stitches around, I'll use a really pale thread so that they just have a sort of slightly mystical look about them, and not quite so strong and obvious in the way that they are here. So, and you know, sometimes I'll put, if I've got 3 or 4, then I will put 3 or 4 of them, just dot them around like that so that they just look pretty. And so often where I've got a little clump of these, then I'll scatter those little fly stitches around in the paler colour, which just makes life so much easier and adds another extra zing to my rosebuds.
Beverley, that is absolutely beautiful, and you know how I love my christening dress.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Actually, I'm just looking at where we are here. You can see how I've put them around there. I've got this little clump here, and then I've got them in there. It just gives a little bit of extra height as well, and there are some there too.
Beverley, just absolutely fabulous as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have a little segment for you called And So On. This apron is just purely fun. Now you're going to love the tricks, and you might even want to make one with removable bibs for different seasons or for different times of the year, especially those times when you cook. All right, now then this apron, this is a purchased doily. the top is, and this beautiful machine embroidery. And of course you could do hand embroidery or applique, whatever you wanted to do, but this is a machine embroidered frame with a beautiful monogram in the middle. 3 buttonholes have been sewn on, and then this top piece is attached to the apron. The apron is a purchased towel. I would say tea towel, but actually this is a bath towel size. Let me open it up just to see how cute this apron is. You have your waistband, and then there are ties. So this is the perfect dress-up apron for that perfect occasion, and it would be such a nice Mother's Day gift or a Christmas gift, or actually birthday gift, any kind of gift. And aprons are very much back in style. I bet all of you know that if you're looking at the expensive catalogs. All right, here is the purchased towel, and it is a bath towel. Now we're going to draw the line for the apron, another line for the width of the waistband, and I'm going to need 2 ties, so I'll draw the 2 lines for the ties, and I will cut all of these out, and then I have my instant pieces for the apron. For the waistband, I'm going to fold it over and turn it back and put your stabilizer in there, and then I'm going to run, of course, 2 rows of gathering in the top of the apron part. I'm going to fold over my ties and make 2 ties. As you can see here, they've been folded over one time and then over again, and then all I'll do is just stitch 1 line and they're completely finished. Let me go to the next board, and we're going to complete this apron. I'm going to sew the waistband on after I gather it. And you know what the gathers we did? Just on the sides we gathered, not all the way across, because this embroidery is so pretty. Let me kind of hold this up a little bit so you can see that pretty embroidery. It is so pretty, we don't really want to cover that up. So I'm going to gather on each side, gather and gather, and then of course sew on the ties. And the next step is going to be on this purchased doily. I'm going to mark the center, do the machine embroidery. Now this is an interesting trick. Since the doily is already finished on all 4 sides, I'm going to cut off the seam allowance of this Swiss insertion, and I just have the entredot, and I will butt the entredot to the finished edge and simply zigzag with that beautiful Swiss trim across the top. I'm going to fold under both ends of the silk ties or ribbon ties, and then I will attach, just zigzag or straight stitch, the ribbon ties to the top of my bib front. Now remember, I already have my machine embroidery on here, and then 1, 2, 3 buttons will go on the top part of this apron, which is the bib, and then I will come down here, of course, and mark, coordinating the 2. 1, 2, 3 buttons, attach my buttons, and I have a really, really easy project which would just make a wonderful gift. And you know, you could change those little bib parts and have one for several seasons by just using one of the purchased bottoms. And now I have a beautiful piece from my vintage collection to share with you. This beautiful lady's dress has some really elegant and very tailored French sewing techniques. The 4 rows of insertion fill in the neckline, almost a square look. The 3 tucks, 2 sets of tucks on each shoulder are absolutely beautiful. And then also down in a square or rectangular shape, we have some lace shaping. And you can see we have some more rectangles in the bodice design treatment. The skirt also has some miterings and some rectangular looking lace shaping treatments. You see the mitering here, and then we have the lace that goes all the way around the skirt, and more laces that are mitered and making almost rectangular pieces. This fabric would have been a Swiss fabric, a purchase all over embroidered fabric, which was absolutely beautiful with just little small clusters of flowers. For my Sewing from the Heart today, I have a letter from Lisa Ann Sweet from Washington. 2008 was just beginning when I received a phone call from my sister in the Atlanta, Georgia area asking if I would make a quilt for the High Hope Service Center. My annual quilting retreat was at the end of January, and I knew exactly what I would be working on that weekend, the quilt for High Hope. The quilt was auctioned at their annual gala in March, and the proceeds will help with the construction for a 3rd home that will enable residents to develop independence in their own home. Lisa, what a wonderful quilt you made for your sister's precious friends there in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And I just want to thank all of you for your sewing for those that are in need or sewing to raise money, such as this wonderful home in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I have had the best time with you today. I just thank you for coming to visit with me in my sewing room, and I would really love to invite you back next time.